Good afternoon, folks. Once again, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I haven't been on here for a couple of days, but I certainly have been paying attention to what's going on in politics. Let's go, Brandon. Definitely not good news for President Joseph R. Biden, and we're going to talk about that today. And the fact that Let's Go Brandon is sweeping the country, and we all know what that means. Anyway, before we get into the video, I'm asking you to do what I always ask you to do. Give your boy a solid. Feel free to hit that subscription button. Show some love. Click the bell so you know when I'm dropping the videos. And at the end of the video, tell me how you feel about this shit, whether you clicking up or down on the thumbs likes or, dislike or whatever. And we'll holler at that. If you dislike anything I gotta say, feel free to drop a comment. I respond to any and all comments. Why the hell is things going so bad for Joe Biden, folks? Is it because he's doing a shitty job? What do you think? Well, let me just give you some information. And once again, this information is coming from an NBC news poll. Now, I know if you're on the right, you believe that NBC is slanted as hell. But listen to this information and then tell me how you feel. 71%, a whopping 71%, according to this poll, believe that the country is going in the wrong direction. And that's an NBC news poll. This is not Fox, Newsmax, OAN, One American News Network. This is an NBC news poll that says only 22% of Americans believe that the country is going in the right direction under Joe Biden. So when I say 71% believe the country is going in the wrong direction, that means a lot of Democrats feel that way also. Now, I have made it no secret, even though I am the handsome liberal, I haven't complimented the actions of President Biden. I've made it clear I don't think that, that he's doing a great job right now. So I'm probably in that 71%, or better yet, undeniably in that 71%. 37% says he has the ability to handle a crisis. Only 37% of Americans believe he has the ability to properly handle a crisis. Act of war or something going on, another 9/11 or some shit like that. Only 37% will want this guy to be the person that gets the call at 3 a.m. It's not good. 37% also, another dismally low poll, the only 37% feel that he is competent. Now, this obviously makes a lot of sense when you factor in that there's a whole group of Republicans that believe the guy has dementia, doesn't know where the hell he is, can only string together two sentences. And there are some Democrats that feel that way as well. So only 37% of Americans feel that President Biden is competent. Wow. This is an NBC poll, folks. An NBC news poll. So if you're on the right, like I said earlier, you believe that this shit is slanted to the left as far as possible. So these are numbers, according to you, if you believe that, these are numbers that are coming from Democrats on how President Biden is performing. So, yeah, that's why the video is titled, Let's Go Brandon. Not good for President Biden. It's just not. Now, these are some areas, because it gets worse. I don't have fucking any good thing to say. This is all bad. These are areas where the Republicans, in terms of the poll numbers, are leading by double digits. 15, 20% more people, more percentage polls are on the side of Republicans as opposed to Democrats. Border security, obviously to the surprise of no one, with huge groups of migrants coming to America, and, there's a bunch of people that have been let in and nobody knows where the hell they are. And he's also talking about reimbursing those who were families that were separated. President Biden is talking about giving those families money. So when it comes to border security, yeah, this is part of that shit. Inflation. Well, gas prices are up a fucking $1 a gallon in less than a year. So, he's gonna get tacked on inflation. In fact, it's costing more to purchase virtually everything, from lumber to a gallon of milk. So inflation has went up significantly under President Biden. And that would tie right into the economy. The economy was doing much better under President Trump. That's undeniable. And under President Biden, things have went south. Crime. Now, I'm up in the air on that. when it comes to the crime rate, I don't believe that President Biden has a lot of control over, some idiot deciding to shoot up a grocery store in Chicago. I don't think that I don't think that's by any means his job. That goes to the governor. If they want to call in the National Guard in a violent city, on down to the fucking mayor hiring more police officers and things like that. I just don't see how the president could take the blame for crime, unless you got cities that are complaining that they do not have enough federal dollars to hire the proper amount of authority. I suppose you could do it that way. But nevertheless, we're not going to go into whether he's responsible or not. These are what the poll numbers are saying, and as far as the citizens are concerned, he's fucking up on crime. And last one is national security. Well, if you don't feel comfortable calling a guy at 3 a.m., then chances are you don't feel comfortable with him being responsible for national security. In all of those areas, the Republicans are leading over President Biden sharply, if you ask the typical American. And I'm not talking about just Republicans. I'm saying that there are plenty of liberals who also believe that Joe Biden is not good in border security, inflation, economy, crime, and national security. So it's looking bad, folks. There are some areas where the liberals do lead according to this poll. And these are, for the most part, lobs or giveaways, if you ask me. Climate change. It's pretty easy for the liberals to do better in climate change compared to the Republicans when you factor in that they don't believe climate change is even a real thing. So it doesn't surprise anybody in that. Education is a shocker. Now, education, the polls show that more Americans trust the liberals on education as opposed to the conservatives. I've made a video titled about critical race theory, and that's one of the big things that's in the news right now. There's a election going on in Virginia where education is a huge topic because the incumbent Democratic governor is saying that he doesn't believe that parents should be able to go into schools and control what the teachers teach. The right-wing party thinks just the opposite. So I'm kind of surprised how the liberals are leading in education. I think that would vary depending on where you are. If you are down in Alabama somewhere, there's no way I would think that the liberals would lead in education. However, if you're in New York or if you're in fucking Illinois or California somewhere, yeah, they're going to lead. In California or New York or Illinois, they absolutely want to teach critical race theory and things like that. But those are blue states. Red states don't want anything to do with that. They're still teaching that the Confederate flag is about pride and heritage. So they're not going to want to teach critical race theory. Abortion. Well, once again, just like with climate change, you know how the Republicans feel on abortion. And it doesn't surprise me that the liberals would be the party of choice in regards to abortion because most Americans, I believe about 70 to 75% of Americans support some versions of abortion. Not the late term shit and things like that, but when you start talking about rape and incest and things like that, the vast majority of Americans support a woman having some right to choose in a situation like that. And when you look at Texas recently passing a law that doesn't give a woman the right to choose under any circumstance, and it additionally allows you to impose a civil suit of $10,000 on anybody who assisted a woman, yeah, then their views on abortion are so far to the right that it's like a giveaway to the liberals on that one. So I can understand why the liberals would, tend to lead in that one category. It's probably because of what Texas just did. And the last one is COVID-19 or the coronavirus. That's another category where America still thinks the liberals have the edge. And that doesn't surprise me at all because under the Trump administration, the messages were so mixed in regards to COVID. If you don't believe or trust Fauci, I'm fine with that. I understand a lot of right-wingers don't. You don't believe the CDC, I understand a lot of that. I understand that. I'm not handsome liberal. Of course, I trust the science. But under the Trump administration, the issue was he's telling you to take the vaccine, but at the same time saying fire Fauci or I don't trust the CDC. So what I'm saying simply is the messages were not clear. Under President Joe Biden, the message is fairly fucking clear. Now, you can go into Fauci all you want, He served under both administrations, but under the Biden administration, it's for the most part trust the science. You're not getting that don't trust the science, but I'm the one who brought you Operation Warp Speed. Take the vaccine, but then again, you don't have. I mean, it was just pretty unclear under the Trump administration. So yeah, only 4 things: climate change, education, abortion, and COVID-19 are the things, whereas the liberals are being viewed favorably according to this poll. So like I said, none of this is good for President Biden. I mean, you got people all across the country in sync saying, let's go Brandon, and we all know what let's go Brandon means. It means fuck Joe Biden. You see the FJB t-shirts, the FJB signs, all of that is negative towards the president. In fact, just heard on the news today, a fucking pilot on a commercial airliner, I believe it was on a Southwest Airlines aircraft, got on the intercom on a plane full of people and said, let's go Brandon. And there happened to be an associate press member of the AP on the aircraft. So this has been reported, and Southwest is saying that they are investigating it. You know, there's a saying I often hear that if the students know the politics of the teacher's doing a poor job. You should know the fucking politics of your pilot. There's just no place for the pilot of an aircraft to be using the intercom to state his political beliefs. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't assume it's very harmful, but it's unnecessary. And that, not only are they doing it over the intercom, I believe it was American Airlines just released a press release where they had to tell their pilots, American Airlines, one of the biggest airlines in the country, had to tell their pilots to stop using the emergency frequency, the frequency you use for distress calls, to yell fucking Mayday, to stop using that frequency to chant out, let's go Brandon. So it's horrible as far as the dislike, hatred, if you want to use that word, dissatisfaction or whatever towards President Biden. It's just not looking good for the guy. And coming from a liberal like myself, who can generally see both sides of an argument, there's not a lot of positive ways to spin this. I mean, it's bad, folks. If you don't like Biden, you don't think Biden is doing a good job, congratulations, you're in the majority. And that's not looking good. So what would I predict for the future? Well, I don't know about the prediction, because, the main thing a first term administration wants is a second term. And even at Biden's age, I'm sure he would like to go out on a positive note. My guess is the chances of Biden running for a second term are getting slimmer and slimmer by the day. I mean, he's going to be 82 years old come 2024. And if you're already dealing with horrible poll numbers and things like that, it might be time to step aside. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of the elite members in the party, Nancy Pelosi would be gone by then, and she's probably one of the other elderly members of the party that has a lot of power. But she's announced this, she will not run again. So come the midterms next year, she won't even be around. So Nancy Pelosi will be long gone by 2024. Maybe Obama would start speaking out. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if someone of that stature advised Biden if he could step aside, if we could promote someone else. I think that's a good idea. I would assume by then also Bernie Sanders is another older guy that will probably be kind of fading out of the party. We're talking 3 more years from now. Bernie Sanders will probably be fading out, which right now he is still very outspoken in the party. AOC is too divisive, so what do we do? Shit, I don't have a lot of good news in this. Like I said, it's all bad, folks. The only thing I believe that the only silver lining, the only hope that the Democrats have, and I've said this before in another video, and I'm sure any of my right-wing viewers will hate what I'm about to say because they disagree with it 100%. The only silver lining, I believe, is the fact that it looks like the Republicans are going to send Trump back up as the Republican nominee. That's about the only thing that I believe that would be good for the Democrats, is because His numbers are also horribly unfavorable. When Trump left, he left at 39%. Last I checked, Joe Biden was at 38%. So when Trump left, his numbers were terrible. Now, let's go Brandon, fuck Joe Biden. That makes it clear people are not happy with President Joe Biden. But that doesn't mean that the people who are pissed off with President Biden want Trump back. It may just mean they don't like President Biden. And I understand a lot of Trump supporters are taking this to mean that if you don't like Biden, you want Trump back. And that's not necessarily the case. There is a possibility you may think that they are both pieces of shit. Such as myself. I don't think that America would be better off with Trump at the helm. I just don't. And I will tell you this as far as from the polling side of things. When I tell you that NBC is giving Joe Biden horrible numbers, you're not hearing me dismissing that shit. When Trump was about to face the 2020 election, all of the poll numbers said he was about to lose. All of the poll numbers said he was unfavorable. All of the poll numbers were saying that a large portion of the country was unhappy. The Trump supporters were pretty much like the polls are bullshit. The polls don't know what they're talking about. They're making it up. It's a hit job. It's fake news. We're not going to do that here on this channel. If the poll numbers say that the candidate sucks, as far as I'm concerned, those polls, especially a liberal fucking poll, a poll like NBC, you had Fox News polls saying that Trump was in trouble. So I'm not going to be one to just automatically want something so bad that I refuse to accept any news that says what I want may not happen. I want a liberal to precede Joe Biden. I want a liberal in 2024. But I'm readily able to admit if the numbers look bad, they look fucking bad. Denying the existence of something right in your face doesn't make you look anything but stupid. And that's what was happening on the other side. There were plenty of people who just refused to, which is why you have a lot of people now who believe the election wasn't authentic. They never believed that the numbers coming in from the polls are accurate. And Trump stated the night of the election on November 3rd, he had won. Before any counting was taking place, he was already saying, I won already. Stop counting, I won. And plenty of Trump supporters were like, yeah, he won. How could you possibly follow something like that? It makes no sense. They haven't even completed the count. So it doesn't surprise me that they don't believe the election was authentic. You believe the guy won an hour after they closed the polls. Of course you're going to believe that. But in regards to President Biden, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and deny the polls and call the polls fake and things like that. He's not polling well anywhere. There is no poll saying that President Biden is favorable to the American public. So you gotta accept reality. Like I said, the benefit is hopefully they put Trump back up against him so that Trump will continue to name calling and continue doing the things that he did to get him kicked out of office. And that's the only saving grace. Now, we can argue that, well, people with Trump voted with their emotions and they didn't vote based on the issues. To me, that's the same as blaming President Biden for crime. I don't think that the president is responsible for rising crime. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. If the voters believe something and they're going to behave a certain way based on what they believe, calling them stupid or saying they're wrong is not going to matter. You need to find a way to deal with this. And that's the same issue with Trump. If the voters do not want you getting involved in name calling and personal attacks, calling them stupid or snowflakes is not going to get you in office again. Either you change your mindset or you're going to fucking lose. And that's the same thing with Biden. I don't know if he needs to start offering grants to strengthen police forces around the country, start promoting stop and frisk. He did that shit back in the 1990s and 80s and took a bunch of flack from us minorities. But the fact is, America believes he's not tough on crime. And they're blaming him for, shit that's happening in Chicago that was happening in Chicago since I was a kid. But he's getting blamed for it now. And if he doesn't find a way to curtail that, it's going to hurt him come election time. Anyway, folks, this video's went on long enough. Certainly with reporting all of this fucking bad news on President Biden. But what do you think? Where do you think I'm getting it wrong? Do you think he has any hope? Or do you think it's even worse than the way I'm portraying it? I'm sure if you're a right-winger, you absolutely think that Trump getting in personal attacks is not bad at all. we can agree to disagree on that. I definitely believe his mouth is hurting him. But other than that, tell me where I'm getting it wrong, folks. Do you believe that President Biden might have a better chance than what I'm saying? I'm saying it's pretty dismal. I'm saying he may need to take a back seat and let somebody else kind of... We can talk about Kamala. Anyway, once again, I don't expect to get a lot of likes on this, but if you do hit the dislike, I'm going to ask that you please drop a comment, because I want to know what you're not feeling. I want to know where you think I got it wrong. Call me an asshole. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I will talk to you in the comments. Once again, it is your boy delivering some fucked up news, the handsome liberal. I will catch you in the next video.